Johnny Mac and Jody Mac here with you on Birds 365. We get to talk some Eagles football and all things NFL as well, because he covers the entire league. CBSSports.com with our pal Jeff Kerr from CBS. No, you were down for day one at practice. This question is kind of for both of you two guys, because I don't get anywhere near the practice field. Or I did one day last year, I should say. Excuse me. Any nerves when you get out there first day of practice? No, you're not playing. No, you're not being evaluated. Well, I think Jimmy Kempski may have actually evaluate John, but that's a side story. Any nerves getting out there on the practice field, Kerr?
I don't personally. I mean, I think back to when I played and how nervous, excited I was when I played, and I'm sure the players feel like that. At least the ones I talked to did. But overall, it's to me, I love training camp. I think training camp's awesome, but I miss it a lot more at Lehigh. Sorry, Eagles, go back to Lehigh. It's never going to happen.
That ain't happening. No, nerves would not be the proper.
No nerves, you, Johnny. All right,
No.
that's good.
What am I doing? What some knucklehead with a notebook? What do I got to be nervous about?
You're John McMullen. You were walking around like you own the place.
Come on, I tell you all the time the question I would ask, and you go, yeah, Jody, that's a dumb question. Come on. Don't even bother with that. So you can ask a dumb question, McMullen.
Oh, you could have. I've asked many dumb questions. That's what I've learned. What has I guess for younger reporters, I mean, it can be nerve-wracking, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've been to a few of these, so I know what to expect. Every once in a while, you'll get Derek Barnett last year. Really had a sort of testy back and forth with me. Nelson Aguilar back in the day.
That's the one I thought you were going to mention, Nelson.
Yeah. That can really intimidate people. Probably would have intimidated me when I was younger as a reporter. So I guess, but yeah, no nerves.
No nerves for either of you guys. All right, that's good to know.
John, I'm shocked you're not buying your Kelly Green jersey.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was assumed you'd be down there. It's like a Taylor Swift concert. These people are lined up. Josh Sweat gave the best quotes about that yesterday from my standpoint, because people know I don't care about jerseys. Jody knows, Jeff knows. I just don't care. Not good or bad. I don't get all the excitement over it. But Josh was like, yeah, I think they should be our
number one
primary jersey because they look pretty good. And then my buddy Rob Kessner tried to get him to, talk about Reggie White and Clyde Simmons and Jerome Brown. And Josh was like, hey, man, I'm going to be real with you. I wasn't a football fan growing up. He doesn't know. It's not. And he was telling the truth. And speaking of young reporters, there will always be somebody who asks Fletcher Cox. It's amazing, like clockwork during a bye week. What do you do in a bye week? You're going to watch games? Do you sit and watch it?
They don't watch football during their bye week.
I don't watch football. It doesn't watch football, and he's dead serious. He doesn't watch it. So they have a different mentality. But Josh was like, yeah, they look good, and that's the extent of it. There's no tradition or whatever. By the way, they won the Super Bowl. The Lombardi Trophy was out there yesterday. They won the Super Bowl in the nonsense, the midnight green that nobody likes. So, what would you rather have? Super Bowl in midnight green or nothing in Kelly green?
I don't get it. You talk to my dad, it's the identity.
People want the best of both worlds. They want the Super Bowl in Kelly green.
I don't get it. But anyway, maybe they'll see it. Not this year, but maybe they'll see it.
Well, won't we find out the dates today?
Probably. I mean, they're officially on sale today. So probably, yeah.
I have a feeling Christmas is going to be one of those days, by the way.
All right, since we went down this rabbit hole, and I was trying to avoid it because I know John doesn't care whit one about the color of the jerseys. But since you brought it up, Kerr, you're now going to have to answer the question. We all think the Eagles are going to be good. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. I think the Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl. If they're going back to the Super Bowl this year, will they be wearing Kelly Green or will they be wearing Midnight Green?
Now, Jeff, they can't wear Kelly Green in the Super Bowl.
No, they can. There is a provision where they can, but they won't.
What is the provision?
So
why?
They have to ask the NFL for permission to wear an alternate jersey or a throwback for the Super Bowl because the Rams pulled it off a couple years ago.
Oh, they did? See,
Yeah.
Jeff is I say, any uniform questions, I tell everybody, ask Jeff Kerr, because I don't know. I did not know you could wear alternate jerseys in the Super Bowl.
Hey, John, did you hear? I'm a liar because I said the Eagles are bringing out an alternate logo for the Kelly Green. And it's a familiar logo, but it's a different color. Well, the old Eagles logo is white instead of green. Everybody goes, no, they always had that. I'm like, they never had it officially. It was on the jersey, but it was never an official
See, this
logo.
is the kind of angst Jeff gets over this stuff.
Yes.
I'm like, you're arguing about logos, people.
Oh, I didn't argue on Twitter. I just argued to you.
Jeff's not lying to you. If he says it, he's the best uniform guy in the business. He's not lying to you. So
me in retirement, I'm gonna write for Looney Watch with Paul Lucas. I'm gonna go with him.
So here's the question I have for Mr. Uniform Jeff Green, Jeff Kerr, Jeff Kelly Green. Late January at Lincoln Financial Field, they get a defensive stop late after kicking a game-winning field goal, kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs did to them. And the Philadelphia Eagles beat the San Francisco 49ers 38-35, and Jalen Hurts just outdoes Brock Purdy.
The 49ers are going to score 35 points?
That would be correct. Brock Purdy puts up
Sean Desai's going to get a
350 yards for Brock Purdy, but Jalen Hurts outdoes him and gets the late field goal and wins the game. Is there a hue and cry from those at Lincoln Financial Field? Kelly Green, Kelly Green, Kelly. Will they chant for it NFC Championship Day for the upcoming game 2 weeks later?
This franchise will, yes. I think if they know that's a possibility, they can wear them and get the Super Bowl they deserve in Kelly Green. Yes, but I like to tell people that when they say they won the Super Bowl Midnight Green, I'm like, that's great. They won 3 championships in Kelly Green.
That's true.
If you're going all the way back.
Way back.
Even before John McMullen, Jody McDonald, Jeff Kerr's time, you gotta do some serious going
My
back
pop-up was at the 1960 NFL Championship game.
Did the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, I gotta get Didinger on, did they win?
They won it. They won a championship, yes.
Yeah, see, so
by the way, that's one of my sneaky favorite uniforms. Everybody,
when
they did those colors,
the yellow ones.
Oh God, yeah!
Couldn't be worse.
Eagles,
worse than that was the Packers in yellow. What
the
hell?
The
Eagles and Packers both as green as the day is long, wearing yellow.
For the fans coming to training camp, the Eagles have sort of these little setups, and one of the setups is
the helmet
the 4 different helmets, and they had the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets out there. I'm gonna tweet this, and maybe after I get it, Sander can put it up. But yeah, I that's the only one I took a picture of because I'm enamored by the Frankfurt Yellow Jacket. I don't care about the other ones.
You notice the black helmet isn't there.
Yeah. So it's goofy looking. That's probably why. But
Kevin Curtis had the game of his life in those.
Yeah, that's true.
And those atrocities. I have the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets helmet.
I know AJ got a look at them and said, nope, not wearing that.
People would buy it if he wore it, though.
Good on AJ. All right, Jeff Kerr, question for you. You were there practice 1, Jenny. You were there for practice 2. Everyone was there saying it was a little bit more boisterous head coach. That Nick Sirianni was doing some pretty good yelling and screaming at the players that, hey, we're not staying out here long. We better get it right. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect on a game day. Got to be perfect right here. Getting a little loud with his players. Method to his madness. just in the moment coaching? What do you make of Nick Sirianni being more of a screamer and a yeller than he was either his first 2 years in the first couple practices of the year this year?
Well, we heard him screaming the first 2 years, just not with the megaphone, right, John? That was probably the best thing he's ever done. And the F-bombs are great. I mean, if you could record that part of the practice, it would have been great television. Now, Friday, John, didn't he do it during the...
Yeah, he did it. He did it in front of the fans. He did it in front of us. He knew it was a live camera period. He did it on purpose. Now, that was his first question.
That's the pandering.
Yesterday. And he denied it. He said, I'm not doing anything I don't normally do. Yeah, I'm going to call shenanigans on that. He's doing it purposefully, at least partially. Don't get me wrong. He was pissed off too, especially that first day, Jeff, where so many offsides, false starts. He was pissed off. So that was part of it.
Remember, John, he had the 4th and 8 and they had the pre-snap penalty and he just said, we're effing done. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So it was part passionate, but it was also part, he understands you got to battle complacency. He understands everybody's got this team going back to the Super Bowl. And the expectations are so large. He's trying to battle complacency as well. So he's trying to serve two masters, and he should, by the way. That's what he should be doing. That's what a good coach does.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. John, I don't know if you've been on X now, but did you see what they uncovered at the Rookie Talent Show last night with Jalen Hurts?
His lock screen?
His lock screen. Does that not surprise you? His lock screen is him walking off the field dejected after a Super Bowl loss?
No, Jalen's not one of the guys you worry about. And there's certain guys, and we know, Kelsey and Fletch and the core four, so to speak, the core five with Dennis Kelly. I'm joking with Dennis Kelly, but
that was awesome, by the way. Hearing Jason talk about Dennis and Lane Johnson the other day.
Yeah. There's certain guys you don't have to worry about, but there's more guys you do have to worry about than guys you don't have to worry about. And that's what I think Nick is combating, so to speak.
I don't think you have to worry about AJ Brown either. He has the right mindset. He goes say, look, we gotta earn the respect back. There's always room to improve. He said, we all know what the goal is around here. And
the Alabama guys, Nick Saban raised the Alabama guys right. I don't know if that's that way in every other city, but I just wrote about this. Every Alabama guy is just locked in, at least the one the Eagles get. They
don't lose.
And the Georgia guys, I don't know. I get some, like the Georgia guys got a lot of swagger. They're like, they rightfully so.
Jalen Carter does.
Yeah, they're freaking great at the college level. But I don't get that same sense of all business all the time. Maybe I'm being unfair, but the Alabama guys are just like Landon Dickerson thinks he's the worst stinking player in the world. Literally.
And he's good.
He thinks he's awful. And it's like we're looking at him like cross-eyed. He thinks he's terrible. We know about Jalen. Devontae's like, somebody tried to get him down the Super Bowl route. He's like,
no, he doesn't want anything to. I remember I actually went down, sat and talked with him, and he knows me pretty well. And he was giving me the typical one-sentence answers. I'm like, and he goes, he apologized. He said he wasn't feeling. That was the day he wasn't feeling well. But he said, I just really don't want to talk about this game. And he was playing it, and 3 days later, he just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, those guys, they're Nick Saban. I don't know what he does, but he's doing things right.
Jalen still hasn't told me officially what rat poison was.
There you go.
Wow.
That's something to be proud of. All right, so maybe we're overanalyzing what Nick Sirianni did or didn't. The reason for his screaming in practice, debatable. Not debatable. Sean Payton open mouth and inserting foot. What is he thinking about? I understand you want to take your buddy Russell Wilson's back and you want to show that you have faith in him and you're going to be his guy all year long. By completely throwing the former coach under the bus then backing it up and running over again, and then backing it up and running over him again. And a lot of people still within that organization who were there last year. The worst run organization in the history of the National Football League. Nothing like influencing people and making friends. I'd say Sean Payton's era in Denver has gotten off to a pretty rocky start. Would you agree, Jeff Kerr?
Well, I'll say this. I've heard people in the Broncos organization aren't really that happy with what Sean Payton said.
I love Sean Payton.
I do too. I think Sean Payton has given me great answers to great questions over the. And I mean, was he wrong? No. So
you know, Sean Payton once called me.
Yeah, he was wrong. He gave Russell Wilson a complete pass, free pass.
He gave Russell.
Do you think
pass.
Russell Wilson didn't have anything to do with the Broncos sucking
No,
last year?
I think it was all Nathaniel Hackett.
I do too. I agree.
So Russell Wilson's going back to MVP status this year, huh?
No, but Nathaniel Hackett was that bad of a coach.
He's going to be very good with Sean Payton. I think he's going to be very good. And if he isn't, hey, here's what I like about Sean Payton. Like I said, Sean once called me because he didn't like something I write. Number one, I love that guy. I love the guy that's picking up the phone to call you. But number two, we all complain about these stock answers as meaty people. I have a different regular. I like guys who are honest. He's honest. And Nathaniel Hackett was a freaking disaster as a head coach. The fact that he said that is so out of character for an NFL head coach. So I think there's two sides of the fence.
It's not.
You're not supposed to deal with that. No, I like when he tells the truth. I got mad when he apologized. No, tell the truth. He's got a lot of confidence in his ability. He knows he's going to do a better job with that quarterback and that offense. Is he going to be the same quarterback he was when he was winning the Super Bowls? No, he's probably not that guy, but he's going to be a heck of a lot better than he was last year. And Sean's a good coach. So they're going to be a heck of a lot better run than they were last year. That's easy. That's an easy bar for him to clear. But the fact that he told the truth, I love it. I get why other people, but then you have all these cookie cutter guys. They're all the same. Same stock. Nick, I love Nick.
They're behind just long stock answers.
Behind the scenes. Yesterday, if you go through his transcript, it was like, it's early. We got to wait for the pads to come on.
I don't know when the pads are coming on.
Yeah. I don't know when the pad. That's true, by the way. But they're coming on tomorrow. But yeah, all stock. I don't want that. People want that.
And I'll give Sean Payton credit for being honest. You're right. If Russell Wilson throws 3 picks opening day against the Raiders, I want him to be that same honest coach and going, yeah, my quarterback sucked today. If you're going to go down the I'm going to be honest road, which we would all appreciate, then you got to be consistently on that honest road. It's really easy to throw somebody who's out of the building under the bus.
He called out Drew Brees a couple times in his career.
Well, we'll see if he does it with Russell again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's trying to. There's no question. Part of it is he's trying to build up the quarterback again. He's trying to build his confidence. I think that's part of it as well, and that's part of it. Just as I said with Nick, trying to fight complacency. It's not always about one thing. It could be about 2 things, 3 things. You're trying to rebuild the guy's confidence after a bad year. That's part of it as well. Nathaniel Hackett isn't there anymore. Look, I said George Payton should have got fired. I love George Payton, the GM out there, because I've known him for years. Minnesota. He was one of those guys with, he was sort of like a mini Eric DaCosta. He would get interview offers and he would turn them down. And then he picks a situation. He had one plan. Go get Nathaniel Hackett with Aaron Rodgers. And when Hackett didn't get Rodgers, he was screwed because he wasn't prepared. Rodgers runs the offense, not Nathaniel Hackett. That's why the Jets, Joey's the Jets guy. You don't have to worry about anything until Rodgers leaves. Then you better get a new offensive coordinator. God forbid he's got to work with Zach Wilson.
He may be your boy, John, but you can't do it in that order. You got to get Rodgers first. Then you sign.
I agree.
I agree with you.
Peyton screwed up by doing it out of order, and then he had to live with his mistake all year long.
And yeah, George, and I'm talking about George here, the GM. He should have gotten fired. And I love the guy, but that you can't do it. I agree. You can't do that. You can't hire a coach because a quarterback likes him, and then you don't get the quarterback. You can't do it.
No.
By the way, speaking of DaCosta, I still think Lamar handled that situation well in Baltimore, and DaCosta did, because once Hurts signed, all of a sudden those two were ready to talk business. It's like they had a barometer, and DaCosta said, "Yeah, we can do that." And that's
Eric's very good.
Yeah, he is. And Lamar, from what I was told, like him and DaCosta are on great terms. They always were. It was just they didn't know what money. Like Lamar wanted the fully guaranteed deal, and DaCosta didn't want to do the Deshaun Watson route. And where Lamar got blackballed or not, who knows? But at the end of the day, once Hurts got that deal done, those two. I mean, look, it only took them 10 days to get their deal done.
Yeah, experience matters at GM. And we're seeing it. I was just killing the NFC North guys before you came on, Jeff. Those guys are a freaking disaster.
Oh, they are.
You know, people talk about Howie. Howie's kind of a disaster early in his tenure. Experience matters. Now Howie's
you got to get through the growing pains.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a big advantage the Eagles have.
John, can you please back me up on this? Why are Eagles fans still talking about Budda Baker? That's not happening.
No,
he's not getting traded. I was told by Cardinals people he wasn't getting traded in May.
Yeah, I don't. Every big name. They want Jonathan Taylor. I got the Jonathan. You didn't get the Jonathan Taylor question?
Not yet.
I got him right off the bat that day.
Yeah. Speaking of saying stupid stuff, in addition to Sean Payton, I'm sure both you guys read last night that the Colts are actually thinking about trying to hold back Jonathan Taylor's pay. That he showed up at camp. He's on the PUP list. He's got an ankle, which he hurt last year in the game, had surgery on. But he's also complaining of back pain. And they're suggesting that they might put him on the non-injured football list, which means they could hold back his pay. Yeah, that's not good. Our boy Shane Steichen is stepping into a dumpster fire there in Indianapolis. They're not good to begin with. Gardner Minshew could be their starting quarterback. And oh, by the way, your best player you're alienating by saying we're not going to pay you because you said you wanted to be traded and you got a bad back that wasn't hurt in the game. So we're going to hold back your pay.
Yeah. Jim Irsay is a wild card,
Steichen in Indianapolis real fast.
If I was Taylor's agent, this is what I would tell Taylor. Show up, practice about 2 or 3 days, fake an injury, and then they can't do it to you.
Yeah. Well, you got to hold in like Danielle Hunter did. You got to hold in. You can't hold out because then you're just losing money. That's dumb, holding out now because you can't waive the fines anymore.
John, did I tell you what I have to do now? Like when players like AKA want to be we got to do landing spots. I'm like, okay, this is Danielle Hunter probably isn't going anywhere, but I had to do it anyway. And then, of course, 12 hours later, they settle. I'm like, boy, I look stupid. I look absolutely stupid.
I feel bad when you have to do stuff like that.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Kerr. I saw Jordan Davis say, "Yeah, I'm wearing the same exact thing I did last year. I'm just in better condition." Well, that's nice to know he wasn't in the best of condition for last year, his rookie year. But if he's up to condition speed now, that's a good thing. I know John has both reported and tweeted that Jordan Davis playing a lot on the starting line in the 4-down lineman set, not the 5, not on the nose, that he's going to be a key guy and maybe one of their top snap guys in the middle. Does that surprise you that the Eagles are looking to expand his role when they used the 9th pick in the draft to take a defensive tackle? How are they going to get all these DTs time in the rotation?
They will. I saw that first day of camp. Like they have big plans for Jordan Davis this year. That's why I thought them bringing back Fletcher Cox is huge because remember at the time you weren't even sure you were getting Jalen Carter. Now that's a luxury. You got Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox. I can't forget Milton Williams in this. Marlon Tio. I still can't say his last name, John.
Marlon Tuipulotu.
Tui Pelotu. Thank you. Yeah. It's funny because I said his brother's name right the other day. but I can't say
Tui.
Tui below 2. But regardless, I will say this. I think the future of this is obviously Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. But Fletcher Cox is going to play a huge role for them this year in terms of getting Carter acclimated, a mentor to him, a mentor to Davis. They're going to be rotating the snap. They'll be the main 3, but you're going to see a lot of Jordan Davis this year.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much they put him in the 40. How many reps he's getting, just because I'm so high on Jalen Carter. I'm like, it's a nice problem to have. Like Milton's a good player, and I get it. I mean, Milton's going to take a hit if these guys stay healthy. And I'm talking about Jordan Davis, Fletcher, and Jalen Carter. Milton Williams is going to take a hit. I mean, there's no question about it from a playing time standpoint. I had one guy compare him to Akeem Hicks. He thinks they're going to use him like Sean used Akeem Hicks in Chicago. And for those who don't know, and I said it for years, before the injuries took over, he was the most underrated player in football.
Akeem Hicks was good for a lot of years.
Unbelievable. He was right there as the second most unblockable defensive tackle in football, behind you know who. He was an amazing player. Boy, I love Jordan Davis, but man, I don't know if he can become that.
I think Jordan Davis is going to be the key toward them stopping the run. I think they're going to be a much better run defense this year, if you want my honest opinion, because they're going to have Jordan Davis and Milton Williams rotating in there. And I don't know how Carter's going to stack up against the run year 1, but I'll tell you what, he's going to get to the quarterback.
Yeah. Jalen Carter. Well, let's talk about the rookies. Jeff, I know you got to go. The last one from me at Jeff Kerr CBS on X. Follow Jeff there. Sidney Brown still on the 3rd team. Jalen Carter is still on the 2nd team. Calais Ringo still on the 3rd team. When are we going to see a movement here, a shift? Generally, you want to see these guys get, you want to see Carter with the 1s at some point. You want to see Sidney with the 1. Kayvon Wallace is getting 1st-team reps.
I'll tell you what, they seem to be really high on Kayvon Wallace from what I was at. I don't see it, but what do I know?
When does this happen? When the pads come on? They got to figure out if these guys can play.
I hope it's tomorrow. I mean, I think I'm not worried about Carter. I'm not worried about Nolan Smith. I think they'll. I mean, we saw Smith on the first day. He was kind of relieving.
Yeah, Smith has gotten it because Reddick has been out. So Smith has gotten some extra reps with the first team. That, to me, he's going to be interesting when the pads come on for the opposite reason, because, then he's got to deal with Lane Johnson with pads. That's going to be interesting.
But you're right, though. Like Tyler Steen, I want to see with the 1. I know it's Jurgens' job to lose, but I want to see Tyler Steen with the 1s. Yeah. I want to see Sidney Brown play with these guys. I noticed that, and we saw this in minicamp too, John. Like Sidney Brown was on the 3rd team pretty much the whole time. It's like, well, when are you with the pads on? Like, when's he getting out there? Like, I have this belief Sidney Brown's going to help this team this year, and they can. I'm fine with Blankenship and Evans, but you drafted Sidney Brown to play this year.
All right, and so far in training camp, the most activity Derek Barnett has had was to take out his pen and take a pay cut. So we'll see what his.
Yeah, by the way, John, does that surprise you at all that they restructured that? Because it didn't to me.
A little bit, only because I think it indicates they want to keep him more than they want to trade him. And like, how many defensive linemen do you need? How many defensive front people do you need? They are so loaded.
It's like running backs. You can't have enough of them. You really can't.
They're pushing that theory. I mean, they it's a nice insurance policy to have. I'll say that if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, Derek Barnett traded for a safety. Let's make up the trades now.
Good luck with that. We'll see if Derek Barnett is here or not. If he is, I'm not sure what purpose it's going to serve, but that's just me. All right, Jeff Kerr, always a pleasure, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks. We'll talk to you again next week. Thanks for coming in today.
Sounds good. John, hopefully I see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing them hit with pads.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
McMullen's predicting the pads coming on.
I'm
The
predicting
Philadelphia Eagles,
Hey,
you do less with more than anybody in the
I go
National
with John
Football League.
McMullen. It's not there's some ulterior motive in the prediction department. He's not a predictor. He's a what's the word I'm looking for?
Soothsayer?
No.
No, not that. What's prognosticator, I should say.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's because the acclimation period ends and they're allowed to put on pads. That's why.
Unless you're the Kansas. Well, they started a week earlier.
They're allowed to practice more than they practice, but they choose not to. So
that's true. That's why I say it's not 100%, but my guess is that they will have the
actual pads. That means we may actually see Derek Barnett in pads. No, I don't think so.
How about Jimmy McDonald in pads?
Jeff Kerr, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
See you guys.
Mac guys
Thanks,
here on Bird 365. Quickie timeout, come back. Couple more things I want to run by John before we get guest number 2 up next hour. That would be our very own Derek Gunn from Sports Take. He'll be jumping in with us in less than 20 minutes here on Birds 365.